Welcome to the man cave. Today we're gonna do a project. There's Deacon. Good bow, Deacon. Alright, so we've got this brand new 690 Enduro KTM 2015, and everybody is talking about, adding on different things you're going to do to make this more robust when you go out on the trail. So we're getting ready to do a ride in Moab, and I have a friend who bought one of these, and he went and changed his bash plate over to an aluminum one. Well, I have a problem with aluminum bash plates. Here's one I had for the Suzuki. Okay, this thing was so noisy on a Suzuki. That's this one here, the DRZ 400. That I went and bought a carbon fiber bash plate for it from E-Line. And when I bought my KTM 500, which replaces the DRZ 400 for the trails, I bought an E-Line for it, and it protects the covers on it really well, and protects the clutch and other pump things going on. So I couldn't find one for the Enduro. The only ones I found, there was one I guess in England or someplace in Europe that was really expensive. But I started thinking, I really like the shape of this plastic one. It goes on really easy. Let me pull this thing off so you can. I just have these just finger tight, just mounting screws, one on each side. You pull it off. It's got two little posts sticking here that go into a rubber bush. The rubber bushes go right here. So let's take this one off. That came off with the post. Put it where it needs to be. Okay, so that's that. Now, so you got these two posts, and I'm thinking, this is really nice. I like the shape of it and everything, but what if we just improved on it a little bit? Alright, so that goes on just fine. There's a lot of gap underneath here and stuff. And what if we just modified this? If you look at the top of my shop here, I've got this high-powered rocket. And the high-powered rocket has got these fins that have been reinforced with carbon fiber. Now, originally the airframe was fiberglass, like this one here. See, this is a fiberglass two-stage rocket, kind of long, bring it along here. See, it's all fiberglass, but for this rocket here and the fins, which are going to get mushy when you start reaching the speed of sound, the idea was, let me get on this side, I think that light's bothering you, is you add some carbon fiber on here to reinforce the fins. Alright, so since I already know how to do that, and somewhere over here, I happen to have some carbon fiber. How about that? And also have some fiberglass. I thought, what if we went ahead and just laid this thing up, take this off, and see, we could actually, by mounting some cardboard across here, we could extend this bash plate. Not only would we coat it with carbon fiber to reinforce the plastic to make it take rock strikes better, we could also extend this thing up around where this oil filter goes, or at least a little bit higher, give it a little wedge shape. I haven't quite figured out what to do yet, but the idea is that I'd put a piece of cardboard underneath here and tape it to the inside. That gives something that when we start putting carbon fiber down, or fiberglass as the beginning, it'll have something to stick to and kind of create that shape. And so I'll do that out of cardboard first, and on the other side, it looks like this particular cover here is exposed. So if this was just extended straight out and went straight down and then stuck up a little bit, we don't want to get in the way of the shift lever, so maybe there's a way to round it a little bit, much like on the E-Lines version. So I did talk to them about, hey guys, can you make one for my 690? Because they do such a wonderful job of conforming it, so they're not all these, triangular type dimensions, like you have to do if you're making something out of aluminum. You're going to cut out flat plates and you're going to weld them together. Now, I could do that too. I could actually just bolt on some aluminum reinforcement, and I happen to have a braided end or all of my equipment. There's a TIG welder, so we could do that. Well, there's some. Alright, so I've taken a box that my KTM helmet came in. I've cut little pieces off of it and taped them up to the existing bash plate, and I think hi Deacon, I think this will provide a good protection, around the different engine parts. Basically, what I'm going to do is, now I've got this taped up, I'll take this off, and I'll now put tape on the inside to hold cardboard there to act it as a mold, so I can start laying up either fiberglass or carbon fiber until this thing is stiff enough. Then I can start building it up. And we'll probably use the cardboard itself as kind of a substrate to kind of hold it in place. Then wrap up the carbon fiber on the backside until, to strengthen it up. Hopefully that the plastic is something that the epoxy will want to stick to. So to help that along, we're going to have to rough it up with sandpaper and make it stick to it. Right now, the tape is having trouble sticking to it, but this is just regular old painter's tape, so it's never was very sticky to begin with. But I'll try it with a different kind of tape on the inside, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so here's the pan, skid plate with the cardboard kind of stuffed on there. And it's interesting is that the lines of this are such that it'll actually, if you just follow these walls that are on there already, you don't really have to change many angles, at least over on this side. And over here, it'd be nice if you could kind of curve it in, because then that so I cut that off, tried to make a little curve here to go around the, I guess the clutches over there, no, the dynamo, and then this part of course is, it's kind of flexible right now. We actually want this out a little bit to give more room between that and the aluminum, so it's not resting right on it. Because the engine is really just sitting right here, it's got all your valuable parts, and if anything was to puncture this,
you know, it'd be really difficult. But the nice thing about the plastic being more malleable, some people say it's not strong, but you know, I'd have to, I mean, I have a Corvette that's made of plastic, the whole thing, so, and aluminum. So, let's see how this goes. I think it'll be fun. Meat store, and it's basically got this wax surface on the back side and a regular, you know, brown paper on there, and then tape it to your work surface. Got some epoxy here that I use for doing the rockets, and this stuff, West Systems, is really good, because basically you just take a squirt of the hardener and 3 squirts of this. If I remember right, I'll double check the box. It's been a couple years since I did it. So, yeah, 1 stroke of resin, oh, and 1 stroke of hardener. So, this has a really long stroke on it that's got a shorter. So, hopefully this stuff is still pretty good. Otherwise, we'll switch to air epoxy. You know, but you guys who do fiberglass a lot, you probably know what you're going to be doing. I've got some from Hobbyco, some light 3/4 ounce, and when I'll put this over the top of the existing, when I get done laying up the carbon fiber, then I'll put that over the top of it to smooth it out. So we'll just put that down, move that over here, and now what we're going to do is rough this up with some sandpaper. So hold on just a second. The blue tape doesn't hold on very well, so I'm going to use some of this Scotch, oh, it looks like made in New Zealand, aluminum tape, used also known as duct tape or heating ventilation tape. And I know that this stuff sticks if I can get the darn thing going here, if I can find the end. I mean, it really is aluminum. I actually, had, I lined my gas tank on my KTM with this stuff. Let me show you. See under here? Because it's the gas tank, this 3-gallon gas tank from a Cherbis, is black, so it's a black body radiation. It'll suck anything from the heat. That means it's also going to get anything from the engine. So the whole bottom of this gas tank I coated with the aluminum tape to reflect the heat back away from the gas, so it wouldn't boil over when we go someplace hot. So this should do a better job of holding on to the cardboard template. You need to have some of the stuff in your shop. You know, I'm having a terrible time with it. Why is it coming off this side? Okay. Alright, here we go. Okay. Okay, now I can take off the blue tape that I used. this cardboard is pretty much the same thickness as the back plate plastic. So okay, so now I've got this tape on here. Both sides I've taken off the blue painter's tape. You can see it follows a contour here a little bit, and if we just come straight up off that, I think we're going to be okay. Same goes for here. Look at that contour. You just come straight off of here. It has a little transition here, and then so if you fold it, so when you put your cardboard, you know, the corrugations are running lengthwise like this. If you get it cut or so it's more vertical, then you can basically form a curve wrapping around the corrugations. Now let's trim this off a little bit. Okay. Alright, next step. I'll probably be putting it down like this. And so we're going to now find the roughest sandpaper block I can get. This one's pretty rough. And just start roughing up the surface. And we'll come in and clean this with alcohol right before we started putting epoxy down. Get over here where you can see me. Get down in the grooves. If we get these little rubber parts in here that hold on these rubber baby buggy bumpers. Now, I'll bet for the life of the motorcycle you'd never have to change that. So if I get epoxy in there, I'm not going to really worry about it. And I'm sure if you tried to order those, you'd have to order the whole skid plate. I'm debating in my mind right now because we're kind of figuring this out as we go. Just put tape on this guy and that'll keep the epoxy from being on getting on the screw head when I'm working it. Of course, you could just take it off. But I want it there when it's starting to cure, so the very last second, while it's still a little bit malleable, is to stick it back on the bike. So I'm going to want these guys on there. Let me get that little rubber baby bumper off there. So let's see. Let me go get some alcohol. Okay, so now I've got this all roughed up. Take some paper towels with some isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, doesn't matter what percentage, and clean all the sanding dust off. Want to see how dull that is looking now? And on the inside, you can see it's all kind of shiny and everything. So we've taken that glaze off the outside of
of the plastic. And oh, you'll notice I put a little reinforcement piece of cardboard in here just to keep this being pushed out, and that one pushed out, and that'll hopefully, if our original plan was correct, when we put this thing on, it's going to look okay. Anyway, so we kind of engineer this as we go. Oops. You're going to want to keep a trash can close by, you know, because you're going to be making messes. Keep your paper towels, your alcohol. You're going to want some Mylar gloves, stirring, little containers for mixing up your epoxy, and anyway, this sort of stuff.